First is I'll tell about data, sir. Data is a collection of facts or information from which conclusion can be drawn. Data are obtained by recording, measurements, or observation. The data are classified into two major types: numerical data and categorical data. The numerical data it is obtained from measure number of operations, number of children. The numerical data is further divided into two types: continuous data and discrete data. The continuous data can take any value over the range measured, depending only on the accuracy of the measurement device. For example, temperature monitoring or blood pressure monitoring. In discrete data, it can take only whole numbers or integer values. For example, number of operations or number of in a particular study. That is discrete data. The next main type is categorical data. Categorical data consists of group names or labels. This is further divided into two major types: the nominal data and the ordinal data. In nominal data, the data comes from groups which are mutually exclusive and it is not ordered in any particular way. For example, blood grouping, gender, these are the examples of nominal data. In ordinal data, the data groups are mutually exclusive and also they are ordered or ranked. Example, the socio-economic status or staging of a disease. The graph characterizing data. If there is a small number of points, a relationship can be sought between the independent and dependent variable. If there are a large number of data points, grouping data points into categories or ranges enables the distribution to be visualized. The small number of numerical data are usually plotted in a scatterogram, which is plotted against a y and an x-axis. The large number of categorical data are plotted in pie charts or bar chart, and continuous numerical data are plotted in a histogram. This is about data.
What about the source? The initial classification of data should be primary data and secondary data. What is the difference between that? You have not included that in your answer.
Sir.
Okay, I will explain that when I show my slides. Okay, go ahead. This is what you can write. And of course, there are two more subsects in the discrete and continuous data. There is also an interval data and ratio data. So there are actually four subsects to the quantitative data. Okay, apart from the
continuous and discrete.
Continuous and discrete data. You have to add interval data and ratio data, which I will explain when I show you the slide. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Next topic is what is randomized control trial. Randomized control trial are prospective studies that measure the effectiveness of any new intervention or treatment. The intervention include varied actions such as any preventive strategies, diagnostic tests, screening programs, and treatment. This randomization, it decreases the bias and acts as a rigorous tool to examine the cause-effect relationship between the intervention and outcome. In designing the RCT, the steps include carefully selecting the population, that is the reference or the target population. The participants in the population are recruited and randomly assigned to either the intervention or the comparator group. At the time of recruitment, there is no knowledge of which group the participant will be allocated, which is known as the concealment. So the RCT are usually blinded. So this further minimizes the bias. There are two types of RCT, simple two-arm RCT and crossover RCT. In simple RCT, the samples I selected from the population, they are divided into two groups, that is the treatment and the placebo group. Then prospectively, the outcome is measured, whether they have the disease or they don't have the disease. In crossover RCT, the sample from the population is divided into two groups. One group is given the placebo, the other group given the treatment, and the outcome is measured. They are given a time period of washout period. Then again, the the group which received the placebo before are now given the treatment, and the group which previously received the treatment are now given the placebo, and prospectively the outcome is measured. This is crossover RCT. Now, what is randomization? It is a statistical procedure. The assignment is predetermined. Each individual has an equal chance of being allocated to all the groups. It makes the study group and the control group comparable. It decreases the chance of confounding. The selection bias is also minimized, and it facilitates binding or masking of treatment from participants and investigators. What are the bias in RCT? They can be any subject variation. If the subject feels better or improvement, if they know that they are receiving the treatment, then they can be a variation. Observer bias, if the investigator himself herself knows that the group is getting a treatment group, then they can be a bias, and they can be a bias in evaluation. The drawbacks of RCT include high cost, there is time consumption, and there might be a loss of follow-up. Yes, sir.
Finish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Of course, this statistics questions are, unless you repeatedly read, you may not be able to present it properly. So I'll just try to show you a way in which you can remember and write about these things